Hello, and welcome to Anime Territory. I am your host this week, Benjamin Shabby, and with me as always is Johnny Wheatclap Ruhal.
Okay, man.
Had a different nickname, but that just happened, so I had to say it.
Yeah, it was a bad clap. I'm sorry. What was the other nickname?
Kiss of Death.
What does that imply?
I don't know.
The only girl I kiss, I don't think she's dead. She just
Not yet.
moved to Florida.
Not yet.
I think.
It's like the death touch. It's gonna...
Five more years.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know why I'm talking. You're hosting this week.
Today we are discussing the Ranma 1/2, the new one.
Yeah, the Ranma 1/2 2024 is, I guess, how we are calling remakes that have the same name.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just put the year after it.
So I guess I want to start. Do you have any previous experience with the original Ranma?
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen, I don't know how many episodes, either 30-something episodes or 100-something episodes. It's one of those two. I don't remember which.
One of those two.
I don't remember if I ended at like 130 or if I ended at 30-something. I watched a lot of it and kind of burned me out. And I don't think I watched 100. I don't think I could have gotten there.
Yeah.
So, and maybe 30 is just in my head because there was some other show that I got to like episode 130 of that burned me out, which would be like Fairy Tail. So maybe I'm getting those two confused because they're both shows that I just watched a bunch of and then burned out and didn't watch more of. So maybe this is nowhere near 30, but a good amount of episodes of the original Ranma 1/2 that I've consumed in my life.
And what were your thoughts on it?
That it was fun, but that it was really going nowhere forever. So,
okay.
And I'm like, okay, is there going to be like any progress? Probably not, because then they can't sell chapters.
Okay, that was weird. The power, well, the lights just went off.
It's not weird. The light does that. We've been in here before when the light does that sometimes. Okay.
Doesn't happen very often though.
No, it doesn't. I was motioning for you to vamp for a second.
I did vamp. I mentioned what happened. That's vamping. I didn't go silent.
Yes, correct. However, my motion also implied that I'll fix this in a second. Just vamp. We don't have to draw attention to it. But now we've drawn attention to that. Sometimes our light bulb flickers out, and we just have to go and touch the dial for the dimmer switch, and it will go back to normal. Could we pay somebody to fix it? Sure. Is it worth paying somebody to fix it? No.
It's not that big a deal. I was just really worried the power went out again for a sec.
No. I could tell that the light was on in the other room there. So.
Okay. So you thought the original was just fun?
No, it was fun. It was good. Okay. It was definitely like made in the time of basically like the same time like Detective Conan came out, where it's just like this is going to be a long show. And it is not necessarily designed to come to an ending until the author is tired of it. I think there is an ending to this, but I'm not going to read the manga anytime soon. Okay. Maybe eventually. Chilling in heaven, and it's just like, okay, what am I going to do for the next year? I guess I'll read this manga. But no, it was definitely fun. If a bit dated.
Okay. Yeah. This is stupid. Those have been reruns, right?
I was watching it on Hulu.
Oh, you were just watching it on Hulu. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was some sort of channel you had.
No, this one, no.
Okay.
Other shows, yes. I'd watch like some random episodes of like Detective Conan on a random channel that we had.
So you had that random channel that I didn't have.
So yeah, it was Colors. I think it's spelled with an O-U-R-S TV. Okay. They had a Funimation block. Mm-hmm. They would play Dragon Ball and some other mainstream stuff, but Case Closed was on there, and I want to say Magai Negima, maybe, which is like a show about like a 12-year-old wizard that becomes a high school professor.
Okay. Interesting.
Or a middle school professor, and all the romantic comedy that ensues there.
Oh, does he get romantically involved with the students?
There are students that definitely have romantic feelings for him, despite the fact that he is 12 and they're like 14.
Okay. That's weird.
I think he's a consummate professional, though.
Okay, I still don't like it.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I want to say there's something like called Kodampa. I'll have to look that one up.
What'd you call me?
Maybe they played Fruits Baskets too. I'm gonna have to look.
There's a second one?
No. Well, yes, actually.
Yes and no.
They played Fruits Baskets as well. Fruit Basket. Is it Fruits Basket?
I don't know.
They played that, the original, and there is a remake of Fruits Basket.
Okay.
So.
Genuine.
So there is two of them, but I meant as well.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna have to look up that lineup again. It's weird because you have to make sure you spell it right, and it's such an obscure channel that there's not a lot of history of it existing. But it had a Funimation block. But this was not on there as far as I know.
Okay.
This was something that actually our friend Table told me that he was watching at some point and was having fun with. So I'm like, fuck, I'll watch it.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what are your first impressions on the remake?
I like the remake.
Okay.
I think it was, well, first of all, we were able to finish it, which is the thing. Like, there was only 13 episodes, and we just watch an episode a week. It's definitely one of those shows where I'm like, yeah, this is fun. I'd want to watch, like, 2 or 3 episodes at a time, and then put it away for a week, was my thought process on this one.
Okay.
I feel like 1 episode is not enough, but, like, 5 episodes is maybe too much.
Yeah, that's way too much.
Yeah, I mean, 6.5 out of 10.
Okay. I kind of have the same feeling. It was fun, but not quite there for me, I guess. There's just some issues I had with it. But I'd still give it like a 6 or 7.
I mean, maybe go up to 7 just because it's got one of our favorite things in it.
You talking about the Ghibli thing?
Yeah.
Okay. She got Ghibli?
Yeah, she got her hair cut. She had to go to short hair, and it's like, ooh, that's a thing.
Okay. So we're officially making it, when she got Ghibli, the hair has to be long and then short. No, that's something different.
Well,
I'm thinking...
Ghibli girls are notorious for having
short hair.
But there are some Ghibli girls where they turn into short hair. I'm fairly sure that's what happens in Castle in the Sky.
I think so. Yeah.
That's what happens in Howl's Moving Castle.
Mm-hmm.
Does that happen in Kiki's Delivery Service? Does she get a haircut?
I don't think so.
Sosuke's mom and Ponyo was already short hair, so there's not that.
But we were talking. You were bringing up the theory that we like short hair anime girls. We were arguing if it's better if she has long hair to begin with and then goes to short hair.
Yes, yeah, and that I don't think we can call that getting Ghibli. I don't. Think,
okay, there's not enough instances.
Yeah, but I think we can agree that yes, it is better if they go from short to long. Like Your Name, they go short to long.
Long to short.
Sorry, long to short. Yes.
Yeah.
Your Name goes long to short.
I forgot about that one.
This show goes long to short. I mean, it's also just like hey, we're gonna change this character design. It's symbolic a lot of this character is maturing or this character decided to make a change in their life, and it's representative of a bigger change than just the hair. But yes, this time the change was forced upon her.
Yes,
and I think it was still symbolic of a change in her life. You know, I think she kind of grew out. That might have been the episode where she kind of grew out of her crush on Dr. Tofu.
Correct.
And started looking at Ranma more seriously.
But not that seriously.
Well, she would never admit that seriously.
That's true.
I think it is serious. She would just never admit it. That's the point. Which is kind of the cycle that this show went in and why I kind of stopped watching them. It's just like, okay.
I think my big... Okay, we gave it 6/7 out of 10 in that range.
more than a 6.
We're gonna
less
start
than a
going
7.
into more story details, spoiler stuff.
I guess. I mean, I don't know if we really need to talk about it too much.
I just wanted to kind of bring up my gripes with the show.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure we are out of impressions.
Yeah, we're going into spoilers now.
Okay, so this show, I liked it more when it's kind of them bickering or like playful.
Yeah, when they have the playful flirting bickering versus there's something serious going on versus them having to fight other people.
Yeah, I am completely out of the show when they start fighting Remnant Gymnastics Tournament of Death?
Yeah.
And like the figure skating Tournament of Death. I don't care about those. I just don't think they're very interesting.
I think I like the rhythmic gymnastics one more, if just because it's also introducing a love rival too. Okay. Whereas I don't think there is and admittedly a very silly love rival, but I don't think like Ice Guy and his cool female colleague. Mikado San Zenin. Okay. The ice skating boy is what I wrote down here. Like, I guess technically he's a love rival for, like, he's vying for Akane and female Ranma's a love, but I don't take him seriously as a love rival because I don't take any female Ranma love rival seriously. Like, there's absolutely no... Sorry, I should say, any man that is in love with female Ranma, I do not take seriously because Ranma does not like men. Correct. So I don't... At least yet. Not yet. I think the closest he comes is him and Ryoga are sort of friends.
Are they?
Later in the show.
Okay.
It's sort of a thing where, like, he just helps them out more and more. And eventually, like, there'll be an episode where he's like, I really got to refocus on my hatred for Ranma. I'm going to go train in the mountains to crush boulders with a finger. And then that's going to become my thing, is I know I can poke anything and break it. I'm going to try to break Ranma. And then they'll be
like a one poke man.
Yeah. Except, I'm fairly sure it's also called out in that training episode. It's like, yeah, this works for inanimate objects, but they really tried it on a human, like the person who taught it to him. And he's never able to hit Ranma with it, so who knows what will happen if he actually... But he's just like crushing boulders.
Either nothing or it's a fatality.
Yeah. And it's just like, okay, so they'll go back to him hating Ranma every now and again, but he's an ally when something serious happens, sort of thing. But yeah, eventually they'll just be like, okay, let's... Ryoga will remember that he hates Ranma with a passion. They'll stop being buds and go be enemies again. But anyway, yeah. So I guess I like Kodachi Kuno a little bit better just because there's a more serious love rival introduced. She's pretty ridiculous. Yeah. The Kuno siblings are pretty ridiculous. But I like her better than her brother, who, again, is interested in both Akane and...
Yeah, he's playing both sides. Or he's playing
and he doesn't see anything wrong with it, is the problem.
Okay. He's playing the field.
It's just like, I don't know. Like, dude, they're not interested. It's one thing... Like, okay, to compare this to a show I've been watching, The 100 Girlfriends Who Really Love You, they're all mutually into each other, sort of. Like, you know, the girls reciprocate his feelings, and he is very much like, this is my thing, we're gonna have to be a harem, because I can't, I'm filled with love. Which they also, to his credit... They had an episode recently. I'm going off on a tangent. They had an episode recently where the narrator was like, when somebody hears something like, you know, I'll do anything for you, your mind might go to some places. But not this dude's mind, because his mind is 99% full of pure love and only 1% lust. Which is like, credit to that guy. He's more love than lust. Good for him. At least according to that scene on the narrator. But Anyway, this is not that because there is not mutual interest from either recipient.
Correct.
So fuck off.
Same thing goes with that ice skater dude.
Yes.
I hate that guy.
Yes. I
hate
both of them for the same reason. And
that's my other gripe with this show. That's probably not the show's fault. It's my fault. It's just I almost hate every adversary they have.
How do you feel about Shampoo?
Shampoo is like the one who I'm like, okay, Shampoo's fine.
Yeah, people like Shampoo. In the original, so she took a while to show up in this show. I'm fairly for sure she shows up episode 2 of the original show. Which, if I remember correctly, and sure, who's gonna call me on it? If I remember correctly, that was a deliberate choice because Shampoo was a fan favorite of the manga. So like, we need to get her into the show soon. But I think she shows up in episode 2, and then like doesn't show up again until when she shows up in this show. Okay. But they're just like, we need to give people a taste of Shampoo.
Gotcha. No, I like Shampoo. She's got her priorities.
Yeah. Kill girl Ranma, marry boy Ranma. It's simple. Mm-hmm. I also like that they don't keep up this shtick for too long. That they don't perpetuate that she doesn't realize they're the same person for too long.
Was it like that in the original?
Again, I think there might have been some more like anime original filler stuff thrown in on there, but I do believe I got to a point where she knew that they were one and the same. But they might have taken a little bit longer. Traditional show, but yes, she is not. They did not change that for this show. I think it's part of the manga and part of the original show that she knows, okay, these are the same person. Gotcha. I don't think the Kuno Takawaki, I don't think he ever knows. I think he's too dense to get it. But I think pretty much everybody else in the high school figures it out except for that dude pretty early on to the manga. People are still confused about it in this show, but I think people are just like, oh yeah, they figure it out.
Those two are the same people?
Yeah, that
what?
Boy and girl are the same.
What? Yeah. Am I just learning about this?
Well, no, because we've been talking about it for a while. So,
being facetious. Okay, so yeah.
I guess we never really said the premise of this show is that our main character fell into a cursed spring, and now whenever Coldwater gets hit with cold water, he turns into a girl, and he can only turn back into a guy with hot water.
Yes.
And then he is betrothed by his parents' decision to Akane Tendo, or one of the Tendo siblings, and the other two are like, nope, not us.
Not it.
Akane is super strong, if a little bit slower than Ranma, but stronger than him. Okay. Is I believe the implications things goes on, but they both practice martial arts, and before she knows that Ranma is actually a boy, she meets girl Ranma first. She thinks, oh, this could be a friend, and we can do martial arts, and then it turns into a tsundere when they realize it's a boy.
Yep. And they pretend they don't like each other, but they actually do.
Yes, and I think to this show's credit, I think Ranma definitely says and acts more straightforward, but then he'll back off is the problem. Mm-hmm. Is he'll all of a sudden he'll get called on it and he'll get defensive at that point. But to this show's credit, I think he's a little bit more proactive of yeah, I care about you, but it's not like I love you.
Yeah.
We're friends or
tomboy.
Yeah, and then Who could love a freakishly strong tomboy like you?
Definitely not me.
And then that triggers her defensive tsundere tendencies, and it's just I'm hoping that I don't know. I want to keep watching this show as it comes out, but
do you think I don't think we're in a time where you could have a show that runs. Well, they still have One Piece and stuff, but typically nowadays, I don't think they usually run shows that long.
Yeah, they're really devoted to the core breakdown, which is just a 12, 13 episodes. Yeah. Even if season 1 you know, is 26 episodes. It'll get broken down into 2 seasons, sort of thing. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be having a week by week airing of this, but that doesn't mean that the show won't go on for several seasons or whatever. If they're trying to remake the whole show, it's going to take a while.
I just don't know if they'd remake the whole show or not. That's my thing.
Yeah, and they won't if it stops making money. Is the thing, like, or not, which is a shame because I don't think I want to go watch the old show. I think I want to either watch this new show or maybe I'll break down and go read the manga when I'm dead in heaven. I have nothing else to do.
That's what heaven is. It's just a manga cafe where you just read manga all day.
Well, that's part of heaven.
Okay.
I don't think I want to limit it to that.
Well, I guess you don't have to limit it, but I'm just trying to get a picture.
Okay, you're coming to me for a picture of heaven?
Well, I'm just trying to see if it's something.
I've never been, you know.
What?
I'm just making stuff up.
Wow.
I watched
thought you
The
had
Good
like
Place.
first-hand experience.
Nope, I'm not one of those flatliners.
Not a flatliner, huh?
No.
Okay. So, do you want to talk about some characters real quick?
Yeah, let's go through. Let's go into All Aboard, our ship.
Okay.
Our ship thing, because that's just going to be how we're going to talk about ships, I think. So, our characters, I should say.
Okay.
So let's just kind of go with. I'm going to go through the list of characters that I have written down. Keep in mind, not all of these are going. No, I think there's only one that I wrote down that's not really involved in any ships. So we have our main character, Ranma Saotome.
Okay.
We have Akane Tendo.
Okay.
We have Akane's next oldest sister, Nobiki Tendo. And then we have her oldest sister, Kasumi Tendo. We have Ryoga Hibiki, who we should note when he gets wet, he turns into a little pig.
Little pig.
We have Shampoo. We have Takawaki Kuno. We have Kodachi Kuno. We have Azusa Shiratori. We have Mikado Sanzinen. And I wrote down Dr. Tofu as well. Okay. So other than Nibiki, all of these characters are involved in at least one ship in my head here.
Okay.
So what do you think is your worst ships? Maybe we should start with our worst character and go through the ships and why we don't like them.
Okay. The worst character is Mikado.
Yeah, Mikado Sanzinen.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, we already talked about why we don't like his ships. Because he doesn't take no for an answer.
Correct.
And that's just bad, man.
You don't just kiss a woman like that.
Yeah.
Just don't. I hate him.
Yeah, that is sexual assault.
Yes.
That is intentional sexual assault. There's a lot of accidental sexual assault in comedy, mangas, and anime. That is intentional sexual assault. So his ships are with any girl ever, and we hate all of their ships.
I ship him with a shallow gray.
There you go, number one ship. So the weasels can get at him. Okay. I guess we can talk about while we're talking about him, let's talk about the second worst character. Takawaki Kuno would be the second worst character? Or would you put Azusa Shiratori?
Well, I ranked the adversaries.
Okay.
I put Mikado and Azusa together because they're like a pair.
Yeah, again,
but Kuno might be above her. Or below, how you ever say it.
Yeah, Takawaki Kuno, I think, is above. It is better than Mikado Sanzenen because I don't think he's.
Well, he didn't.
I don't think he's kissed anybody. I don't think he's intentionally sexually assaulted anyone yet.
I just think he's.
I think he's trying to
play both fields, but he's not gonna do anything until he actually wins their love, I guess, or whatever.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, don't like him. Same reason.
He's still a creep, but not as bad.
Okay. Next worst character, I guess, would be Azusa Shiratori, the ice skating girl.
Yeah, I guess.
Her only ship is with Ryoga when he's a pig.
Okay.
She calls him Charlotte, and it's like she just loves everything adorable.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that's
she doesn't really have a ship.
Yeah, that's the only one.
Yeah.
The only other ship you could potentially throw there is Mikado, and she's the one girl that he's not interested in for whatever reason. So
I don't know. She's probably a lesbian. That's what I'd call.
I think she just likes cute things, and
yeah,
boys
exactly.
aren't cute. Okay, would next worst be Kodachi Kuno?
I put Ryoga.
You put Ryoga.
I don't like him.
Yeah, Ryoga. Well, I'm again have prior experience, so I know he's more of a bro later on.
Okay.
But he is just sort of constantly like getting in the way of Ranma and Akane.
He also, in pig form, is basically not stopping any of the things he should not be doing.
Yeah.
He should have some morality on that, knowing.
Yes, he should. And that is his fatal flaw there, I suppose, in his character.
That's why I don't really like him. I guess everything else.
And that, I kind of blame the writing more than him for that, and I blame the times more than him for that. Because they're just like, yep, we got to set up a reason why he can't let people know that he's a pig. And that's the reason, because he'll get outed as abusing his cuteness as a pig.
Mm-hmm.
And, but yeah, I guess he would have probably been the next one on my list. Other than like Dr. Tofu is not really a character per se.
He's not an adversary either.
No, I'm not talking adversaries.
Okay. My rank was adversaries, so he's not on my list.
So which one do you want to talk? I mean,
Kodachi. Do you have a ship for Ryoga?
Well, there are ships for Ryoga. I don't necessarily approve of these ships.
Okay, go for it.
What
do we got?
There's him as P-chan with Azusa Shiratori.
He's a pig.
And then him and Akane is also technically a ship. It's just not one that we like. So bad ship.
Bad ship. Don't like.
I would say he doesn't really have any other ships at this point in the show.
Okay. Is there a ship that happens later on that you know of with him?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that I can
I'll get
remember.
random like Ranma 1/2 like manga strips from like Reddit. I think there might be a ship later on, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah. I'm sure there is,
or it could
because
be fan
I'm
art.
sure they're going to introduce like 12 more characters. Yeah. But because like there's no way we're going back to Azusa and Mikado anytime soon. Like,
no.
Those just feel like one-off adversaries that I'm sure will show up eventually again. But
I forgot what show. There's like a show that I think we're watching where they like showed a character I'd never seen before. Like, who the hell is that? Where has she been all my life? I can't remember what it was.
The Blue Box?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, it might have been what's that show? The one where he married the girl he hates.
I'm married to a girl I hate in my class.
Yeah, there might be another one. It might be that one.
Well, there's the what are you gonna call it? There's characters in that show are him, the girl he hates that he married.
Yeah.
There's his cousin.
Yeah.
There's the Gyaru blonde girl. That's about it. Those are the characters.
I could have sworn I saw something. They might be introducing somebody. I could be wrong though. Sorry, I got off.
That's all right. That's what we're here for, to get off topic a little bit.
I'm just mad I can't remember what it was.
Okay. Let's quickly talk about Dr. Tofu's one ship, which is with I guess he's technically got two ships. Akane has a crush on him, and he is like, "No, you are a child."
Yes, good for him.
But he also has a crush on Kasumi Tendo, which I think there's still a bit of an age difference there, but she is at least like 21 or something like that. 20. Yeah, she's not in high school, so that it's better, I guess. But I still think there's a bit of an age difference there. Because if he was like, if Akani's had a crush on him since childhood, and he was like a young doctor when she was a little girl, her sister's not that much older than her.
Yeah, that's true.
So she would have probably been like middle school or high school at that age, which is not good.
No.
But people age, they get older, it becomes better. It's fine. Age difference matters less, but
I'll allow it. I'll allow the ship.
we'll allow this ship. Is that one of the better ships? Probably not. It's probably middle of the road, which is about where we're at right now.
Honestly, I don't know if there's that many good ships.
Well, so we have Kodachi Kuno, and she's got a ship with Ranma, which I just kind of like just because...
Who?
The ribbon gymnastics girl. She's got a ship with Ranma, which I kind of like just because she's sort of a bad guy.
Yeah.
Sort of. She is a bad guy.
She's too mean for him. He would be able to handle it.
But I kind of like when people are mean to me.
Nah, she's like vindictive mean, not cute mean.
But she's not vindictive mean to him.
That's true. I don't know. I don't see that relationship going very well.
No, because he's not into her, but I can kind of sympathize with her at least. I don't know. I like the, she's evil except for him ship. I kind of like that. That's my own kinks showing through, I suppose.
Okay. Also, she's not in it that much. She has her arc and she's out, basically.
I think she shows back up like once.
Okay.
And I think she shows up more often than Mikado and Azusa do, because she's also tied to Takawaki Kuno, and she's part of the same school as them, I think. No, she's not.
She goes to a different school.
She goes to a different school. That's right. But it's like there's that other connection there. She is connected to another character other than just this, one arc that she has there. It's like, oh, it's also that guy's sister. Okay.
Again, it's not. It's just I don't think there's much of that ship, but it floats.
Yeah, it's
there.
It's taken on water, but it's still floating.
Yeah. It hasn't sunk yet.
So I would put that ship above Dr. Tofu and Kasumi, just because it's Dr. Tofu and Kasumi is just such a middle of the road. Like, there's nothing to say about it.
Yeah, they're just kind of nothing characters.
Yeah. We'll quickly talk about Nabiki, who has no ships that I'm aware of. Her and Money, maybe.
Her and Money. I like Nabiki.
Yeah, she's fun.
She's my second favorite.
But you're being a bit of a what's the word for it? Double standard here, because she also takes advantage of Akani and Girl Ranma by selling pictures, pretty pictures. True. And it's like, oh, sure, it's funny when she does it.
Counterpoint, short hair.
Okay, you won me over.
Boom. Done.
It didn't take much. I just wanted to point out the double standard, all right?
She's just no nonsense, and I like that.
Yeah. Okay, we talked about Kasumi a little bit. She doesn't have any ships other than Dr. Tofu. She just seems nice.
Yeah.
I guess we can talk about the dads, Genma and Toan, or whatever the Akani's dad is. They're there.
Yeah.
Genma turns into a panda. Most of the time he can't speak because he's in panda form.
He's just always in panda form almost.
I think he likes being a panda.
I guess. It's just kind of weird.
I mean, it's like, all right, well, if I want to turn back into a human, I got to go take a hot bath. Or a hot shower, I suppose, too. But it's just like, I don't know, it's just easier to live life as a panda, man.
I guess.
And, okay.
But you don't ship those two?
No, not really. No.
I ship the dads. That's my underrated
They're both widowers, I suppose? Or, I don't know what
or
the story is with the moms.
I don't know. Moms do not seem to be there.
Yeah. I also feel like I read something where Ranma's dad was basically like made a deal to go raise Ranma with martial arts with his wife. So like Ranma's mom might be a character that shows up eventually.
Oh, really?
Maybe. I might be telling stories out of school here. I don't know. Guess we'll talk about Shampoo now. So we basically said Shampoo's deal. she's a martial artist that was bested by Girl Ranma when he was in China.
Yep.
So she hates Girl Ranma because she is an Amazon warrior.
Yeah.
So it's like, outsider beat me. I've got to give them the kiss of death and go kill them. So she follows Ranma to Japan. She does not realize that Boy Ranma is the same as Girl Ranma. Boy Ranma defeats her, and then she gives him an actual kiss. It's like, okay, strong outsider, bring. We need to marry this man and bring his genes into the the cult. Yeah. And then comedy ensues where she gets confused about Girl and Boy Ranma, and then eventually she sees the transformation happen, and she runs away at that point to sort out her feelings. Is what she's doing. Which Ranma has a little bit of a hey, I don't know, what's going on with this girl, which I think is sort of the.
I mean, that's probably the second strongest ship.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because Ranma is considering it, which his considering it, I think, is what causes us to lose progress with Akani's shit too. She sees that and is like, oh, well, maybe he's into that, and I should buck out of the picture. And I think that's sort of that's sort of at least one thing that perpetuates the cycle of them not getting together is that he's conflicted about Shampoo. Gotcha. Whereas it's that classic thing of well, I'm not going to be mean to her, but she's grabbing my arm and that's making Akani mad. So but it's not me who did it. She grabbed me, that whole
She comes into bed with me, I swear.
Yeah, I woke up and she was here. I was asleep. Yeah, and then, okay, so Akani, Tendo, Ranma, that's the number one ship in the show. Yeah. I mean, that's the ship. That's what the story is about those two.
And it's the ship. Can't argue with it. Do you have, I guess you don't really ship female Ranma, just because
I ship female Ranma with everyone that I ship male Ranma with.
Yeah. Same.
Because they are the same person.
Yep.
They are not different personalities. They are the same person.
I'm just saying, I'd ship female Ranma with Akani. I think they'd get along.
They did get along for a bit. But now that she knows he's the same as male Ranma,
made it worse?
Well, it's just soured her opinion of her. It's like, wait a minute, you identify as a boy. So
gotcha.
Now I am less inclined to be your friend.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say go watch Ranma 1 Half. I want another season to come out, so people better go to Netflix and watch it.
Yep, it's on Netflix. All right. Did you want to do your manga moment?
Yeah, so we'll just kind of...
It's a new segment.
Yes. To fill time when we only talk for 37 minutes.
More than I thought.
More than I thought we'd get out of Ranma. You know how long it's been since we've watched an episode of Ranma 1 Half?
About 2 months?
Yeah, about 2 months at this point. But we remember the characters. Yeah. I just needed to write down the characters was the big thing. I remember the most of it. The Kung Fu battles are fine. Like you said, you kind of tune out. Yeah. I think they are... The animation style changes slightly when they're doing Kung Fu or martial arts or whatever. But I think I think it is smooth enough, nice enough looking animation. There's no problems with it per se. It's not like it's all just freeze frames and no actual choreography.
I just find it kind of boring.
It's just not what you're there for. It's not the part of the show that compels you.
It's not interesting to me.
Yeah. But I want to just point out that it's not like it's bad animation.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
That's the last thing I want to say. There's a lot of kung fu, or I keep saying kung fu. There's a lot of martial arts fights in this, and it is not bad animation, which I think might get a little weak in the original show after a certain point too. Gotcha. Once they're okay. Reused animations that, still shots, that sort of stuff. But yeah, we can go on to my manga moment. So, well, first of all, I'm all caught up on Detective Conan.
Oh yeah, you're caught.
Oh no, I said that. I said that in the other episode.
Okay.
So I'm
still. Didn't you say that and immediately found out there's another chapter that just came out or something?
Yeah, but it comes out. It's not dubbed in America yet. I'm going to. It's right now. There was a chapter at that time. There was a chapter that came out. I have since read that chapter, but then another chapter came out, and there's like a week delay between when like the Italian dub of it goes up and when the American dub of it is available.
There is a solution to this. You learn Italian.
Okay, or I can look here right now. 8 hours ago, the chapter that I just mentioned now has.
There you go.
Now has the American one out, but there is a new chapter that is just an Italian that came out 2 hours ago. So, but pretty well, I'm caught up with Detective Conan.
Yeah.
So, I was just on Reddit, and as Reddit does, it will just have a Anime IRL is I think the culprit. Well, they'll just like post clips. They'll post panels from a manga, and I'll be like, "Oh, that looks fun. What's going on there?" And then I go into the comments, and somebody says, "Here's the sauce." So I read the first 8 chapters because that's all that's out.
Okay.
There's technically like an 8.5, but that's just like a little bonus 1-page thing. Of a manga called "A Quirky Girl is Inviting Me to Bed."
Okay. Go on.
The premise of this show is that a Japanese college student... Yeah, sorry, this manga. A Japanese college student moves in with his cousin because rent is cheap or whatever. She's maybe like 6 years older than him, sort of thing.
Okay.
He hasn't seen her in like 6 years. Maybe closer to 10 years or something like that. Anyway, he was a kid. Now he's an adult. She was like a teenager. Now she's a slightly older adult. She doesn't look anything like he remembers. She's like dyed her hair and she's got a bunch of piercings, but she's still sort of the same person there. But he's just like, whoa, this is not what I was expecting after 10 years. I'm expecting you to be this cool, mature woman, and you're kind of quirky looking there. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he starts living with her, and immediately first night, he just hears a bunch of moaning through the walls. And he's just like, she is going to town. I guess she's got a boyfriend. 8 chapters in, we've not seen any or been told about any such boyfriend. It's just implications from the moaning. And that's sort of the crux of, is he going to be brave enough to ask her what the story is there? Because it feels like it's baiting us of being like, like,
and this is 8 chapters worth of stuff?
Well, there's other stuff that's happened. Okay. But it definitely feels like it's she's either got a boyfriend and they have sex a lot, or she sleeps around a lot, or it's some completely different thing that's causing the moaning. Yeah. That is, and it feels like if it turns out that she's actually a slut, it feels like it would have happened by now. Like they had to just be setting up for the reveal of like, oh no, it wasn't that. I'm a voice actor, or I'm a cam girl, or or I just make that noise when I'm sleeping. Yeah.
I sleep moan.
So it's like, I don't know. It's either at this point it might be bait for baiting us that it's not a slut, and then it turns out the trick is that like, no, it was a slut the whole time. Okay. I don't know. It's only 8 chapters out.
What's it called again?
A Quirky Girl is Inviting Me to Bed.
Hasn't been invited to bed yet.
No, but there's been other quirky girls show up where stuff has happened. So there is.
But he hasn't been invited to bed yet.
The title
of the show has not happened yet.
Correct, I guess.
After 8 chapters.
Some stuff has happened is what I'll say. The next girl we meet is his own age and is kind of from the same town as him, though they don't really know each other. Turns out they did know each other 10 years ago or whatever. But she seems normal on the surface.
Uh-huh.
But the more attracted she gets to somebody, the more she wants to bite them. She's into bite play.
Okay.
They get drunk at a college party, and she like takes him home because she's less drunk than him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like half asleep, drunk, thinking that he's a kid again playing house. He's like, "You're the mom, I'm the kid. I want milk." And she definitely, I think, bites him again at that point, but it gets interrupted. So there's definitely a...
Where does he bite him? Or she bite him?
Well, we learn it's implied in the past that she's got a big bite. He's got a scar from a bite she left on them when they were kids on his shoulder. Which is, I don't think the author realizes how big of a deal it is if there's a scar 10 years later from a bite.
That like drew significant blood.
Yeah. So there's that girl. And the third girl is just sort of toxic.
She knows toxic?
Probably.
That's awesome. I love that move. It's my favorite move.
So she's sort of got a cool girl vibe. She's
Okay.
got tattoos. I think she's got short hair.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't remember that for sure. Don't quote me on that. But she's also like peer pressures him into trying to smoke cigarettes.
Okay.
And like it's like, all right, you're just bad. Like you're teasing him, but it's not a good. It's a I'm gonna peer pressure you and get you all hot and bothered, and then pull the plug here, and now you're addicted to nicotine. Good job.
You got jammed.
Yeah, but she's like a friend of his cousin. And,
okay.
And again, like he knew her back then because she would come and visit sometimes or something. So those are the three quirky girls we've been introduced to in these first 8 chapters, and it's borderline hentai is what it is. I'm sorry.
Okay.
There is a scene where there's a censored scene where one of the characters is, or the main, like the cousin is topless. She's like looking in the mirror talking to herself about something. There's also a chapter where the main guy imagines a sex scene with his cousin. And what I read was uncensored, but I think it might have been censored originally.
Okay.
But what I read was most certainly not censored. But there was also like no guy in the picture per se. And then it was just like, turned out it was like, oh, that's just me imagining what was happening in the other room, but with me as the person.
Okay.
So yeah, borderline hentai, in that there's not a sex scene every 5 seconds, so it's not really a hentai per se. It's just a manga with sex scenes. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, that's. I guess I'll keep reading it for now until I get frustrated with how it's not revealing whether or not she's a slut. I need to know. It's okay if she is. I made peace with it if she is, but I need to know. That's Manga Moment.
All right.
A quirky girl is inviting me to bed.
Gotcha.
I don't know if we'll have a Manga Moment every episode. I might pick up a manga here and there. I've got some manga I need to read that I own physically, but we'll come back to it every now and again. Just talk about something different at the end of the episode. You can tune out before it if you want, because we're done talking before then.
Thanks for listening. You can find us on Twitter /X at anime_territory. We are on most podcast platforms, and we're on YouTube.
You are now leaving the anime territory.
Goodbye.